What's going on, people? It's Mr. Door back again with a preview show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, it's time again. Forest are back in action on a Monday night match against Aston Villa. If you're new to my channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment below, people, what is your score predictions for tomorrow's massive game? If you're watching this back again as well, in the comment section as well, put your score predictions as well. Massive game, as you know, big game for Forest, and I know quite a lot of games it's gone our way with quite a lot of defeats, but we've got to focus on ourselves this week. If we win, we're at the bottom three. If we lose, we're still at the bottom. So, like I said, it's a massive game for Nottingham Forest. I've got a special guest coming in soon. His name's Rich from Villa Podcast. Please give some love and welcome as well in the comments as well. But yeah, people, like I said, massive game for Forest. Like I said, tenth, but everyone's happy because, as you know, Steve Cooper signed a contract as well, and we did a podcast about that as well. So if you want to watch it after the stream, make sure you do go and check it out. But yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere, a fantastic atmosphere, because I think Steve Cooper deserves that back in. Like I said, we keep repeating ourselves what he did for Nottingham Forest after 23 years out of the Premier League. Before I get Rich on, I'm going to go through the comments as well. Come on, Forest, how you doing, Kay? How you doing, James? How you doing, Austin? How you doing, Lloyd? Even though Forest fans, how you doing, Mark? How you doing, Eve? I hope you're well, Eve. Peter, that Irish guy, can't see Forest going, so no as best as we can hope for. We always, like I said, if we do get a draw, we're above that team from down the road that lost, because now they're not talking about a win. So if we do, it's a point of bad. It's not, but I want to win. Mick Carter, evening door. How you doing, Mick? NFC tomorrow, it will be tasty. It's going to be tasty. It's going to be very tasty tomorrow. Tim, good evening. Oh, how you doing, Tim? Paul, we'll be okay. Keep the faith for us staying up. I hope you are, Paul. I hope you are. This from Barney. Hi, I'm a good feeling for tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I think everyone is. Fingers crossed tomorrow. Colin says 2-1, 2-1, 2 Nottingham Forest. I was in 1. And as well, they read 3-1 to Forest. Right, before I say that, I'm going to get, like I said, people give some love to Rich. Like I said, he's a YouTuber as well. So people in the comments, show some love to Rich. How you doing, Rich?
I'm very well, Mr. Door. How are you, mate? How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm buzzing. As well. You do.
Oh, Villa Park. Actually doing a match preview after this. So if anyone wants to come on and see a Villa point of view, then jump on our podcast on YouTube, the Villa Park Podcast. We've been going for a couple of years, but only really a couple of months on YouTube. And yeah, we're up to about just under 400 subscribers. So yeah, going really well, mate. And as you know, it's great just talking football and talking your team on YouTube with fellow Villa fans or fellow football fans. Yeah.
As well, like I said, people, like Rich said, please give us a subscribe to the channel. Like I said, he just started, so I've been that bit before. We started YouTube, so like, so people get in the comments as well. His link is in the description, in the title as well. So if you can, quick 5 seconds, click on his link, subscribe, and help Rich out. Even if it is might be not for us, it's just football related stuff. So that's what people get in the comments, and make sure you do support Rich. Right, Rich, let's talk about the big game tomorrow. No, let's go different. I saw a video yesterday, and you know what we're going to talk about. That game 5-5. I've got like people remember. If people remember, you'll know. We wore this top when we joined you 5-0. How much you can remember that game, Rich?
I just remember it was absolutely crazy, and it was at a time when Villa were under Dean Smith at that time, and were just kind of getting used to him. And he was trying to play a real attacking brand of football. We had Tammy Abraham up front, we had El Ghazi, we had Yannick Balassi. I remember we had so many, obviously Grealish at the time, and so many attacking players in that team, and it was just the craziest game I've ever known. It just seemed to be every time each team attacked, they scored, and I think Lewis Graben scored quite a few for you, didn't he? That game,
Graben scored two.
Villa.
Graben scored two.
Yeah,
Carvalho and an ex-person that we'll talk about later on, Matty Cash as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
something we're going to talk about later. But that game,
And Tammy got 4, I think, did he?
Tammy got 4.
Yeah,
He scored a hat trick in the first half.
yeah,
So
yeah. Absolutely crazy game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But as you know, the championship is just a mad league anyway. So many games that season when Villa ended up going up after winning 10 games in a row were just crazy in that season. So yeah, you're best off being out of that championship. I'm telling you that now.
you know what, Rich? I'm buzzing. Like the thing with championship, and we'll talk about that later on as well. It is a horrible league to get out of. And as
Yeah,
all Forest fans will know, 23 years of it,
yeah,
it's been misery after misery after misery, everything. So it's so good back to be back in Premier League, and it's good to play a team like Villa as well. But like
yeah.
I said, Villa's got history, and like I said, we'll talk about later on as well. But like I said, it's just been a crazy season for both clubs. But like I said, we'll talk about like the 5-5 game was just mad. And as well, people, if you, I did the vlog for that game as well, people. If you do after this live stream, go and check it out. Right. Before I'm going to give the comments as well, because I've seen a super chat as well from Iron Wolf. Even though still loving the streams, keep it up, mate. Tomorrow's going to be a massive, and keep up in we trust. Yes. Thank you very much, Iron Wolf, for showing love to my stream. And thank you for the £10 as well. Much love as well. If you want to help and support the channel as well with any super chats, please do. But Iron Wolf, thank you for the £10. As well, Rich got some love as well. Hello, Rich, as well. As well, people, if you just come to the stream, make sure you do help out Rich, subscribe. Big up to Rich as well. You got some love as well there, Rich. Some love to his channel.
Always good. Forest are one of my teams. I do like Forest, and always a good atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow, very, very much.
Yeah. Right. So let's talk about tomorrow's game, and let's talk about your season, Rich, because like I said, it's been a tough start for you lot. But tell us, Forest fans, like from the start, from now, what's been happening?
Yeah, it's been a difficult one really, because going right back to last season, we obviously lost Jack Grealish for 100 million. That was well documented, and we brought in Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey, and Danny Ings, and didn't really hit it off with Dean Smith, and for whatever reason wasn't working out, and we got rid of him, and Gerrard came in and steadied the ship and did a good job. Granted, then towards the end of the season it tailed off, and there was a lot of talk about give him pre-season, get his signings in, and we'll start to see it turn, and we'll start to see the real sort of Steven Gerrard team come through. And sadly, it hasn't really materialised at the start of this season. You know, we turned up at Bournemouth first game of the season, and we were just awful, and we lost 2-0. And he's not really picked it up from there. We managed to beat Everton, and then went on a pretty bad run. And I think he just needed to shut up shop. And at the moment, we've basically played really basic, back to basics football, just not conceded any goals, not given any space to the opposition. And it has brought a bit of an upturn in results. We've only conceded 1 goal in the last 3 games. We drew against Man City, we beat Southampton, and we drew against Leeds. Now, if we were to manage to get 3 points against you guys on tomorrow, that's 8 points from the last 4 games. So in essence, that would be good form. But if we get beaten, then that's, we've played really boring football and it's not really got us anywhere. So Gerrard is going to be under real pressure if we don't get the 3 points tomorrow. So yeah, he's in a really, really tough spot, and I guess it's just a lesson in setting expectation levels, because him and the board have set the expectation levels that Villa should be aiming for the top 10, even top 8, and at the moment we're not good enough to hit those heights at the moment. So yeah,
Mm.
it's on a bit of a knife edge at the moment with Villa.
Mm. Are you, like I said, it's been a tough thing. Like you've got good players. I say you've got Coutinho, you've got Watkins, you've got Danny Ings, a good striker as well, and you've got a good back four as well. Like I said, you've got a decent goalkeeper in Martinez as well.
Mhm.
Are you disappointed at the start that you've made?
I am a little bit, yeah. I think if you look at the teams that that have beaten us, I think Bournemouth, you've got to be saying, you know, you can't be going to Bournemouth and getting beaten if you've got any aspirations to finish in the top 10. West Ham, we were poor at home. And Leeds, I was at the Leeds game, and I thought we played pretty well. But when they've got 10 men for most of the second half,
Mm.
you've got to put them to bed. And he's probably 4 points down on where we really should be aiming to be at the moment. So he's got quite a bit of catching up to do, to be honest. So yeah, I'd say slightly. I would be slightly disappointed with the start of the season. I'm not Gerrard out, certainly not Gerrard out, but I do think he needs to show real improvement.
Mm. Um, I want to talk about Steve Gerrard because I know, like I said, he's done what he done with Rangers,
Mhm.
and everyone said Gerrard is not being tested, blah blah blah. And you said that, sorry, you said that your Steve Gerrard man was he your choice as manager?
Definitely, yeah, he was my choice. I thought for what Villa needed, in my opinion, I thought Dean Smith did a fantastic job with us. And I just felt that because Grealish had gone and that kind of story of Dean Smith and Jack Grealish, Villa fans and all that sort of stuff had sort of finished. I thought we needed a different voice and someone who's a bit more ruthless. And obviously, yeah, like you said, with what he'd done at Rangers, winning the league, not losing a game, getting them into Europe, doing well in the Europa League, setting up that team to do well in the Europa League as well. I thought that was the type of winner that we needed, but he hasn't quite shown it yet. And I don't know whether it's just a hangover from last season or what, but it's just not quite shown yet. But I think we still need to give him time. I think a lot of managers now don't get the time that they need. You've had the same situation. Obviously Cooper was rumored to be in trouble, but then signs a 5-year deal, and you've got to give managers that security to work with the players that they've got and to bring players in that are their own signings. Sometimes it
Mm.
takes 2 or 3 years. So I would say give him some time, but on the flip side, he needs to get some results.
So, you know what? Let's make fast forward. You just mentioned Steve Cooper, and I always tell a rival fan about it. And as you know, it's been documented. Like Steve Cooper was in trouble. He's brought in
hmm
23 players in, blah blah blah. As a Villa fan, what's your opinion on how it is from an outsider looking in?
Well, I think Villa have probably got us a bit in common with that situation, because when we came up out of the playoffs, is it 4 years ago now? Um,
Yeah,
or 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago, we had the similar situation, and we had loads of players on loan, like Tammy Abraham, as I mentioned, and one or two
yeah,
others. Some of them we made permanent, and then we also had loads of players that were coming to the end of their Villa career. Albert Adoma,
good player.
Glenn
I
Whelan.
love Albert. I
Yeah,
love
yeah, I
Albert.
love him. Yeah, yeah. But coming to the end of their time with Villa, and so we had to do it. And I think we signed something like 13 or 14 players.
Did you?
So not quite 23. So we kind of understand it, but I do think 23 is a lot of players. But when I look at some of them, I think you've signed, Lingard is a good player, Koyate is a good Premier League player. Um, you've got what the lad up front. He looks pretty good. You've got Emmanuel Dennis when he can get fit, or I'm not sure if he's fit yet. But yeah, you've got some good players. The only thing I would still say is centre half. I'm not quite sure that you've got the quality there yet at centre half. You've got a couple of good who were good last season in the Championship, but I'm not quite sure of that. But you've got to have options. You've got, particularly with 5 subs these days, you've got to have options, to freshen it up. So it's down to Cooper to try and get him to blend in. I suppose that's
Mm.
that's the tricky part.
But like I say, it will take time. Like I think, as when it says Steve Cooper, like he knows he brought his players, and it'll take time for his players to blend. But as far as fans know, it will take time. There's 8-9 people in. If you're new to my channel, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and comment below, people. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? Rich, let's talk about your players. Like I said, you brought a few in summer. What player has stood out for you, and what player has been underperforming? So, what player stood out for you so far?
Oh, that's a tough one, really, because the two players our two big signings were Diego Carlos and Boubacar Kamara, and they're both injured. So Carlos is out for most of the season. I think he'll probably be back in March, April time, and Kamara's not back until after the World Cup. But he was doing really well before he got injured. In terms of a standout player, I'd probably say at the moment it's Tyrone Mings. Who's
Didn't he stop by? Didn't Gerard take his captain off him or something like that?
yeah. So
Tell us about that story.
Yeah, it was really strange how it happened. Like it was kind of built up over pre-season that I think it was built up before the end of the season, and when Gerard came in, he said Mings is my captain for the time being. I'm not going to make any changes like that. But that was always under the undercurrent for the rest of the season. That what would he do? What would he do with Mings towards the end of the season? Who's going to be the captain at next season? And then he didn't make the decision until kind of the week before or a few days before the first game of the season, and then it ended up being John McGinn. Now, in a lot of Villa fans' opinion, they love John McGinn, but he's not guaranteed a place in the first team in a lot of Villa fans' opinion. So to make him captain was a bit of a surprise. I think a lot of Villa fans' choice would have been Martinez because he's the only one who's guaranteed to play.
Yeah.
So obviously, with Mings being the character that he is and the sort of leader that he is, it caused a lot of news, a lot of backlash. I don't think particularly from inside the camp, but you know, if you're someone like Tyrone Mings and you've had the captaincy taken off you, you're gonna have your pride hurt a little bit. So, and he didn't play the first game of the season. Now I think he was injured, but that didn't help Steven Gerrard either because a lot of people thought he'd been dropped and then he'd lost the captaincy. But then he played the next game, and gradually, as the season's gone on, he's just got better and better and better. So, in terms of the decision to take the captaincy off him, he's actually probably been vindicated in that. He's probably been sort of proven right that it's allowed Mings to concentrate on his game, and he's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic in the certainly the last 4 or 5 games. So I'd probably say he's been the standout, and it's a bit of a cop out it being a defender, but honestly, our forward players have not been anywhere near good enough right now. So, you know, the likes of Coutinho, the likes of Leon Bailey, Ollie Watkins, they really need to step up because they've just not been anywhere near their best at the start of this season.
There's one player that we are going to talk about. As far as fans will know, the man himself, Matty Cash. I think, as far as fans know, he was fantastic for us. And then Villa poached him for 16 million, I think. If any Forest fans want to ask Richie any Matty Cash questions, please do in the comments as well. Richie, tell about Matty Cash. How has he been as a fan? Been with you a lot since he's gone to Villa.
I think as just like you guys at Forest, I think all Villa fans love him. You know, he's always 110%. Even if he makes the odd little mistake, he always does it with the best of intentions. He bombs up and down that right hand side. Yeah, great attitude, and he's obviously got in the Polish team. You know, we call him the Polish Cafu.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been fantastic. I think the season before last, he was unreal, and then halfway, kind of 3/4 of last season, he was absolutely brilliant. And when Gerrard came in, he actually stepped up his performances and actually started bringing goals into his game. He's a little bit stop-start this season. He has been injured the last few games, but I think he will be back for tomorrow. He's been back in full training all week, so we really need him because we've got a few players out at the moment in defensive positions. So yeah, it'll be a welcome return for him, and I'm sure you guys will give him a good welcome reception before the game, and then hope he finishes on the losing side. But yeah, he's been great. Honestly, he's been really good.
As well, but I don't know if Rich, like I said, you don't know the story. I think I'm sorry, Malcolm. I'm going to throw you under the bus on this one. The story is with Matty Cash because he was at Forest, and when he started right back, my friend Malcolm said he's not a right back, and as you know, Richie, he's one of the best right backs in England. Sorry, Malcolm, I had to do it. So that's why he's so good at right back, Richie, because he was so well that season. And he's been so well for you lot. Is he injured? He's not, I don't think is he playing tomorrow?
He should be back tomorrow. Yeah, he has been out. He has been out the last. It might be 2 or 3 games. I think his last game might have been Man City, and then he might have missed Southampton and certainly missed Leeds. So yeah, he's back. He was back in full training as of last Monday. So he's had a full week's training. So he'll be back.
There's not 7 people. If you can, do my favour, hit the like button if you can, people. And as well, next to me is Richie. He's from the Villa podcast. Subscribe to him. His link's in the title, so please do subscribe to him. As well, people, I will get Richie's score prediction in a minute, but in the comments, if you can get your predictions in, I know there's quite a few Villa fans in here as well. I saw your predictions as well, as well Forest fans as well. Put your comments as well. Richie, like I said, let's talk about, like I said, what players are you afraid of Forest? Because I know, like I said, we've got a lot of players, but what player are you a bit wary tomorrow?
Well, I'd have to find out who plays, because it's probably a bit of a lottery of who starts, isn't it, at the moment?
Exactly, it is.
I mean, Lingard always has a good game against Villa, always. So I'll be very, very wary of him. What's your striker's name again? I've been quite impressed with him.
Wasn't
he? Yeah. He's very strong. And some of the timings when he's come up against a player who's big, strong player, he sometimes tries to out muscle them and then tries to win that battle rather than just play the game. So that'll be interesting to see how he gets on against him. And then I mean, I don't know if Dennis is playing, but he's a worry. But yeah, other than that, like I said, and obviously your man Johnson, Brennan Johnson, I think he's a very, very, very good young player, and if you give him any time or space, I think he can really, really hurt you. But I think if we can calm the fans down, quieten the fans down first 5-10 minutes, I think, and we get a fairly early goal, I think we'll be okay. But if the crowd are up, which I'm sure they will be, and you have 1 or 2 good chances in the first 5-10 minutes, I think it's going to be a really, really tough night for Villa.
People, like it, before I get his comment regarding where Forest will finish in the table as well. People get in the comments, what is your score pitch for tomorrow? I see Mark says Forest 0, Villa 3. Must be a Villa fan. So before we do, Mark, Rich, you said you've been to the City. Have you been to? Is your first time going to City Ground?
No, I've been once before. I went in the Steve Bruce days when we beat you 1-0. It was a terrible game, if I remember. Scott Hogan scored.
Hogan.
Yeah. He's at Blues now. But yeah, it's one of the grounds that I've always wanted to go to, and obviously I've been once, and I can't wait to go back tomorrow, especially you guys being back in the Premier League. It's a proper club, Nottingham Forest, and it's good to have you back in. Really good, and I do hope you stay up. I really do.
Us too. We hope we stay up as well. But like I said, it's been too long for us, so hopefully, come on, Forest, do a big points for us. 2 more questions, Rich. I started the season where I'll ask you 2 things. At the start of the season, where did you thought Villa will finish? And now, where do you think Villa will finish? So let's start. Where do you think? Let's start the season. Where do you think Villa will finish?
Yeah, good question, mate. Really good question. I predicted at the start of the season, I predicted ninth for Villa.
Did
Um,
you?
yeah, I predicted ninth. I thought on the signings that we had, and the league is kind of between 16th and ninth. There's not a lot of difference between the teams. Crystal Palace or Southampton, Villa, Everton. There's not a massive amount of difference between them. So I thought, if we pick up, 5 or 6 extra points than what we did last season, we'll probably in and around ninth. So that's what I said. But I think now, looking at the start of the season, I think we'll be lucky to. I think we're probably looking at 11th or 12th. To be honest, I think we probably
You take that,
revised.
wouldn't you? You'd take that, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd take it. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just be slightly more disappointing than what we sort of hoped for at the start of the season. I would say.
Mm.
Yeah, I bet you guys will take 17th, wouldn't you?
We'll
You
take
snap
that.
snap hands off
I'll snap
17th.
everyone's hat off if we finish 17th. It's been a crazy season, and like I said, if Forest win tomorrow, we're at the bottom three because, as you know, Leicester lost,
Mm.
and now they can't keep singing about Forest get battered all over again because, like I said, we're not the rivals, so, but I think we are. Last but not least, Rich, I always do this. I don't know if you want to do it. What is your score prediction for tomorrow?
I'm gonna say 3-1 Villa. I think
That happened last
yeah,
time, didn't it? But when you lot came to Villa, came to City
yeah,
Ground.
yeah, it did. It did. You
Yeah.
guys had O'Neill as manager, didn't you? That time. I'm
Yes, we
sure of
did.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Martin O'Neill. Yes,
yeah,
it was. Did he go up that season? It was, wasn't it?
yeah. That was the season we went up. That was the
Yeah.
start of. I think that was the third game in the 10 in a row. So yeah, it was the
Under
third
Dean
win.
Smith. It was under Dean
Yeah,
Smith, wasn't it?
third win out of the 10 wins in a row that we got. Big game that was. But yeah, so I think 3-1. I think we'll go 2-0, and then you guys will get it back to 2-1, and we'll get one on the break.
Yeah. After what happened last time, I remember because I think Leeds drawn 0-0. Was it them who got sent off, or was it you that 10 man?
They
Wasn't it?
did, yeah, yeah. We had 40 odd minutes with them with 10 men, and we couldn't break them down. But I think Watkins will be determined for it to get a goal. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1.
Bloody hell. So Rich is confident. He thinks Villa will win 3-1. As you know, I think I did a vlog for that game as well. I think Jack Colback scored a fantastic goal past your goalkeeper. But as you know, I think it was McGinn scored 2 fantastic goals. And who's the other one? The centre
Courtney
back.
Horse,
Courtney
yeah,
Horse.
Courtney
Yeah,
Horse,
Courtney
yeah.
Horse scored as well. Yeah, but that season, I know what it is. Before you go, Richie, I think what happened with Forest, I think it happened to Villa before 2 years before that. Because, like I said, I remember you had Dean Smith as manager. You was really bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Really
yeah. We
bad
were,
under
yeah, we were like,
Steve
yeah, we
Bruce.
were at 16th or 17th in the league, and
Oh, we were
you
worse then.
came
We
in.
were worse then.
Yeah,
We were
you were
worse.
worse. You were worse. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's funny. Like I said, it's so documented. Because what happened to Forest last season, Forest fans, Villa had the same situation as well with Steve Bruce, not great. Dean Smith come in, and I think that moment, I think it was who was it? Jack Grealish was injured for a long time. But he come back, and
hmm
you went on that
hmm
crazy run, and then you won in the playoff final against we know who, Derby County. So yeah, but before we do go, like I said, appreciate it for coming on, Rich. Like I said,
No
there's 100
problem.
people in.
Pleasure.
Before you do leave, Rich, just do one more little shout out because I know you're doing a live show as well on your podcast. So people, Rich, just do a little shout out for your channel again.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we're the Villa Park podcast on YouTube. We're going live now, so the lads are on there now. I'll be jumping on in a second. So yeah, it'd be great to get you guys, anyone watching, as soon as we finish here, give us a like on our video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, it's like I say, it's we'll be talking Villa Forest for the next couple of shows, and we'd love to have you on. And if you ever want to hear about the Villa and what we're doing, what Steve Gerrard's doing, and what's happening at in the West Midlands, then yeah, jump on our channel. It'll be good to have you over.
As well, people like I said, if you do, I like to help other people's channels as well. He just started, as people know, if you can, it's in the title. Make sure you click subscribe and hear what Rich and his people like to talk about on the Villa Park podcast. Right, Rich, I'll see you tomorrow. You're at the game tomorrow, so hopefully I'll see you before the game. I'll bring the tissues out for you if that's okay. So, but yeah, Rich, thank you for coming on, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, spot on, mate. And yeah, all the best for the season.
Yeah, can you do one more thing? Is it up the Forest?
Ooh.
Almost catch you out. Almost catch you out. Cheers, Rich.
See you later.
Cheers, dude. Well, that's Rich podcast as well. Make sure everyone do subscribe. Before I do go, people can do massive favor for me. I'm on 54 likes. There's 95 people in. You can hit the like button as well. Subscribe if you know. And big game for us Forest fans. And like I say, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere because after Steve Cooper signed a contract to 2025, and it's going to be absolutely buzzing. I know the falls a lot to put on the Twitter. Make sure you bring your scarves and everything because we want to make it's always like it, but we want to make it a fantastic atmosphere because it's Monday night on Sky and we want the atmosphere to go absolutely crazy. Yeah, right, people, I'll get going. Like I said, the review show that would be I think I'll have to do it late one 9:30 start for that one. So I'll be doing the review show at 9 o'clock on 9:30 on Tuesday. The vlog will be out maybe 5 o'clock on a Tuesday as well. So if you do want to come on a vlog, people, before the game, meet me up before the game. I'll be around the ground as well. I'm meeting Rich as well. So if you can, people, get on the vlog, come up to me, and we'll get on the vlog. Right, people, thank you for everyone that has come on, and shout out to Rich as well for coming on as well. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And if you are rewatching this, in the comment section as well, people, what is your score prediction? Right, I get going. Thanks for coming on, and peace and love. Up the Forest.